Welcome to this presentation of Chapter 13, which is Fostering Integrated Learning Outcomes Across Domains by Brian J. Betty. I'm Brandon Luke, and I'll be presenting this. So the first section, main points of the chapter. So the first thing that we need to look at is what is theme-based instruction? Theme-based instruction is defined as instruction. Theme-based instruction is an approach to facilitating learning which brings together various domains of learning in order to support a unifying theme. So essentially that means that you find a common theme that you can learn, that you can apply to a lot of different domains, for example, mathematics, English, art, and then you develop a curriculum that would teach elements of all of those in that specific context. So some other names for this that you'll probably hear in the future if you get into looking into this is Integrated Thematic Instruction, aka ITI, Integrated Theme-Based Instruction, Integrated or Interdisciplinary Curriculum, and Transdisciplinary or Holistic Learning. So all of those are theme-based instruction approaches. The theoretical foundations of all of these are in the idea of multiple intelligences, which is theme-based instruction environments provide meaningful opportunities to support the development and expression of varied types of intelligence, typically including activities that help learners experience and explore content through more than one intelligence. So multiple intelligence isn't something we've talked about yet, but essentially it's saying that the traditional ways that IQ tests measure intelligence may be limited in their capacity, and that there are more ways that we can measure intelligence. For example, you can measure intelligence in form of, you can look at spatial intelligence, or bodily kinesthetic, or musical, intrapersonal, or interpersonal. Not sure what the difference is. You could comment on if you know what the difference between those two is. Naturalist, existential, and spiritual, all different kinds of intelligences. And this sort of approach draws on those and brings it out in the instruction. So the universal principles that seem to go over all of the different methods of theme-based instruction they all seem to have a common, or identify a unifying theme. And also all of them focus instruction on primary learning goals. They also all use a variety of instructional activities, provide useful instructional resources, evaluate achievement through authentic assessment practices. Then also in the chapter, he makes a connection between those things I just stated and also Merrill's first principles, which we read about. So you can go and learn more about that if you'd like. So what sort of teaching situations would this be most ideal for? Well, those that want to integrate various domains, for example, math, science, and English, and want to make those boundaries a little more fuzzy and just kind of learn about a theme, those would be good environments to apply this into. Also those that value Merrill's first principles and as well as multiple intelligences. Also systems, and this is sort of a prerequisite in order to implement it, you need to make sure they have quite a bit of teacher flexibility, that they can adapt their standards if need be, because sometimes when you identify a theme, a certain standard that may be in a course, for example mathematics, in the quadratic formula may not fit in that theme, so it may not get taught. So teachers need to have the flexibility to adapt standards according to the themes. And teachers also need to have time to collaborate because they will need to be working together with quite a few different teachers across domains. So the role of the teachers and the learners. So the teachers serve as a facilitator, but their role in bringing this out varies quite a bit according to what kind of implementation they're doing. Teachers can, for example, be very heavily on the development side and identifying themes, identifying objectives, Or if they already have a system in place or a curriculum that they're using, then they could be just the facilitators of it and rolling it out. On the learner side, this is kind of interesting because, again, there's the learners are very active participants in this, and the end goals of the projects are focused on more things than just demonstrating the things you would see in an IQ test. So learners are, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in the next one. But the second thing I thought was interesting is that the learners, in some cases, are the ones who define the learning objectives for units. And it just depends on which curriculum is implementing this. But I found that interesting that the learners would be actual participants in defining of the learning objectives. So now to the last part, the expected learning outcomes. So the learning goals or outcomes should be problem-solving or problem-based objectives. To get a better idea of what this means, they had an example. And it said that if you, for example, had the theme, living in harmony with our environment, one learning goal may be students will learn how to develop an environmental plan so that they can meet a problem-solving goal of present a plan to fix one major environmental problem in their neighborhood to a group of local government officials. So in that goal, you heard not just that the students will understand this concept, but that the students are actually producing an end product. And that's what it means by problem-solving or problem-based objectives, that it actually ends up leading to an actual product or something that they're producing. So that's everything. Go ahead and post comments and everything, and we're good to go.